This is Brian Savard. I'm the assistant AD for communications at Plattsburgh State. I'm here with Annie Katonka, a junior, soon to be senior on our women's hockey team. Annie, how are you?
I'm good, kind of just hanging out. I'm back home, not in Plattsburgh. So, what are you up to nowadays, Brian?
Not a whole lot. It's a lot of staying in. My wife is very pregnant right now, so we've been sort of staying in, staying safe. Wearing a mask when we go out, but for the most part, we're hanging pretty low. What about you? What does a typical day look like in the life of Annie Katonka during the pandemic?
Gosh. Oh, I wish to say there would be much exciting going on, but I kind of just wake up. I cook my sister breakfast every morning. She gives me a lot of thank yous, but doesn't really return too many cooked meals back in my favor, but it's okay. I usually will mix in a workout throughout the day, try to stay in shape and get ready for the season. And I've been golfing a lot. I just actually golfed this morning, but I golf probably once or twice a week. So trying to, stay active, keep busy, and, hang out, I guess.
What's the best aspect of your golf game? Long game or the short game?
Oh, gosh. My short game is not the best. So I definitely have to say I'm getting pretty good with my driver and like my 3-wood. And my dad gave me one of his old a 4-iron, and I've been hitting that because it's kind of like a hockey stick. So the ball's been going pretty far with that one. So I mean, I've gotten a lot better. That's for sure.
Yeah, golfing is kind of like the one activity that is easy and safe to do right now, although it's never really good to say golf is easy, because golf is probably like the hardest game ever. It's all mental.
Yeah. Like a lot of finesse. I never realized you kind of got to like really think it through. My dad, I golf with him a lot, so he's been showing me a lot of his like pointers because he's been golfing forever. So, but
Nice. Now, you mentioned that you're staying in shape. What are you doing in terms of workouts during the pandemic? Obviously, I'm assuming like you can't go to gyms or anything right now.
So the gyms actually just opened up last week. I haven't gone to one yet, but in my basement we have like a whole workout setup. We got like Olympic weights and everything. So I've been working out down there, and then I like to run. I used to run a lot in high school, and I try to like run in college a little bit. So I've been running, just going to the trail. Sometimes I go on walks with my friends and just hang out and talk and catch up. So we've been having fun.
That's good. It's good. Got to try to have some laughs right
Yeah.
now. How now you were back in Plattsburgh for like the spring, right? Toward the end of the semester.
Yeah.
What was that like? Living in town, but with most of the students, certainly most of the ones on campus having gone back home.
It was a lot of fun, actually. We kind of made the most of it. We went golfing a lot. Me and a couple of my housemates, we went golfing a lot, and a couple of the guys on the men's team, we were probably golfing once or twice a week up there too. So, it's so pretty up there. We were hiking. Me and Sarah Krausnick and Ashley Davis. We started to begin our 46 request to try to hike all 46 high peaks. Didn't really go off to a hot start because we were so unprepared for the conditions. Like, we didn't think there'd be like 2 feet of snow on the mountains, but there was a ton of snow, and we were wearing like shorts and, didn't have hiking boots on or anything. So we were so underprepared. But I mean, there's so much to do up there. Like, it was never like a boring day, it was always something going on.
Yeah, the high peaks are one of those things where you don't realize how tough it is until you start hiking them. Literally can be, like May or June, and there's still snow up there on some of the higher, elevations on the peaks. It's pretty wild. It's definitely, some of them are much more tactical than just, being in shape, because you just think like, oh, I'm in good shape. I can climb up, a mountain, but there's a surprising amount of skill that's involved and preparation that's involved in a lot of it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, we definitely took that lesson. We learned that the hard way. We were like, what are we getting ourselves into? And right at the beginning of the trail, we asked this woman, we saw a bunch of snow like right at the trailhead. So we're like, oh no, like, are we going to be able to get up this? She's like, this woman, she was a 46er twice, she was telling us about, and she's like, you guys have hiking boots, poles, like crampons for the bottom of your shoes? We're like, no, we have a bottle of water in our backpacks. Like, that's about it. And she's like, oh, well, good luck. But like next time, come a little bit more prepared. But you know, when we got to the top, it was so worth it. It was like, okay, now we got to find a way down the mountain, but it was fun.
I mean, you do it for the views, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that's the best part of hiking, you know, is once you get to the top, you know, the sort of culmination of the feeling of accomplishment, but also like, wow, like, look, I can see up into Canada and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, it was like, you know, they always say like it's not as much a destination as the journey, but like when you're at the top of that, you're like, oh man, the destination was a lot more fun than the journey. But
You know, so there's some special people out there who enjoy the journey part of it.
yeah,
That's never been me. I'm a destination
I like the
person
view.
for sure.
We hiked another mountain. It was like called Lion, and it was the tallest peak in Clinton County. Sarah Krasnick and I did this one, and it was like ice. It was terrible, but it was pretty cool because you could see like Plattsburgh, Burlington, like Montreal. Like you could see everything from up there, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's, you know, that's the nice thing about Plattsburgh and the surrounding areas is, you know, we've got so much to do in terms of outdoors, from hiking to, you know, now this is the time of year where a lot of people are boating, not so much now, but you know, there's just so much to do, especially like, I mean, depending on the season, you know, whether it's skiing or it's, you know, boating, there's always something to do up here.
Yeah, for sure. You can't really get bored, you know. Some people like to say we go to school where your family vacations, and like I think that is very true. Like Pittsburgh is like a good place to be.
What's funny, you know, some people up here have lake homes, and it's like, man, like I feel like I live in like I mean, I certainly I don't live in a home, I live in an apartment, but if I feel like I'm on vacation, like you said, living up here, it's pretty wild. I'm assuming you don't have very many mountains in Pittsburgh.
No, no, not too many mountains. I mean, we're kind of in like the corner of the Appalachian Mountain Range, so you get the like the rolling hills or anything, but there's nothing like uh, the mountains in Plattsburgh. Like the hiking here is a walk in the park compared to hiking up some of those ones.
Although I will say, I can remember the few times that I've been to Pittsburgh, how hilly it is. You don't realize in like downtown Pittsburgh how hilly it is until you start walking. Like it is intense. Like Pittsburgh and San Francisco are the two cities I've been to where I'm like, oh my goodness, like walking around is incredible. Is a huge workout.
Yeah, it's like yeah, you walk to the supermarket and you're getting a workout in and carrying some groceries. Not that I do that, but if I did do that, I'd be sore. Like the hills are so steep that the sidewalks, instead of being like actual like just a straight up sidewalk, there's stairs. So you're like hiking up stairs instead of like a hill because it's just so hard to just walk up straight.
I'm sure for sure you need that for sure during the winter. Like I can't imagine what those roads are like in the winter. I've never been to Pittsburgh in the winter. You know, I mean, I don't know if Pittsburgh's like a winter tourist destination, but I can imagine that is not fun to drive or walk up.
No, I would rather drive in Plattsburgh in the winter with like more snow and ice than drive in Pittsburgh because one, I think everyone just kind of turns off their brains when it starts to snow and everyone just drives funny. So you don't really get too far very fast. But in Plattsburgh, I feel like everyone kind of has it together. They've like experienced winter in Pittsburgh. You'd think this is the first winter to ever hit the town. So I've been really happy to be in Plattsburgh the past couple of years.
Well, I mean, to the people of Pittsburgh listening to this, I'm sure some of you are good winter drivers out there.
Yeah, there's a few.
Going back to like the spring semester, obviously it was a really abrupt transition going from, in-person classes to distance learning. What was that like? Like walk me through what a spring semester was like adapting to that.
It was strange. I couldn't say I was the biggest fan of it, but I mean, you have to do what you have to do. So, but I would say one of the weirdest things was like, we found out that we were going to like distance learning and like on like a Thursday or a Wednesday, and we had class the next couple of days, like until that Friday before spring break. So the teachers were trying to tell you like everything, how it was going, and they're like, we have no idea like what to expect or what we're going through. And like that kind of uncertainty was a bit scary for like the first couple of weeks. But, you know, once everyone started to adjust, everything was a lot easier and you start to get the hang of things. But at first it was like it was like walking to a brand new world. Like you didn't know what you're to expect, how to prepare, like anything, like everything you were used to was just kind of wiped under your feet. And, you know, you had to adapt. And I think like, you know, it's a good life lesson. Like you can't really expect things like you don't expect things like that to happen. And then you kind of have to adapt and move on. So I mean, ultimately, I didn't mind it. I had a lot more free time. You know, I got to hike mountains. I kind of got to make my own schedule. But at first, it was definitely like a bit challenging.
Did you find it all like, you know, obviously the ways of learning remotely are much different than in person. Did any of that adversity sort of help you become a more well-rounded learner, for lack of a better term? You know, obviously, you know, I always like to see glass half full, and you know, when you're thrown lemons, you make lemonade out of it. Did you feel as though, you know, you're that much better of a learner heading into your senior year, you know, having gone through some of
Yeah, I think like I definitely am well more rounded. Oh, that was not good English there, but I need to take English 100 again. But you know, I feel definitely like if you can get through a semester and get good grades when you know you're throwing a complete curveball, I think it like proves that you can pretty much like we go back to class in the fall. Like if we do, I think we'll be more prepared and more like ready to expect things to kind of just change up on you. You know, you learn a whole new way of learning, and overall, I definitely think it was beneficial to everything.
So, you know, obviously, you know, the pandemic has been all sorts of crazy for everyone, but you know, obviously, I think in particular, the current generation of college students. You know, how do you think that an experience like this on a global scale helps your generation in preparation to become the future leaders of the world, having gone through adversity like this? That, you know, even you know, all the anybody on earth right now hasn't experienced a pandemic to this scale. But you know, you know, you guys are in college and are about to be leaders in the next, you know, few years and decades. You know, how has that prepared your generation?
I think it's like a completely unique experience. It gives, I don't want to say it gives us like an advantage, but it definitely like proves like the resilience of like our generation and how we can adapt and change to so many things. Like, you know, being told you have to all go home and you can't, like, college is supposed to be the best 4 years of your life, you know, and you take like this half year off break and you kind of just stay at your house and not do too much. And I think you kind of have like a lot of time to reflect on like what you do, like what you appreciate and how much fun, you know, you have and like the good friends you have. And I think it'll definitely prepare our generation to, you know, expect the unexpected and prove that, you know, you can get through this even, um, you know, no matter how long it might take and how things might end up, but it proves that you can make it through tough situations like that. And I think that'll translate real well in a couple years when, you know, you got kids from Plattsburgh doing great things, you know. So I think we're well prepared, I should say.
Hey, how excited are you going to be when you get to lace up your skates again and go out there and practice? Like, what is that going to feel like?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have such an itch. Like I want to get on the ice every day, but you know, we had such an abrupt end, so it was so tough. Like when you found out, you know, you kind of didn't want to play hockey for like a couple weeks. You just were like, I'm so exhausted, and for it to end like this, it's a heartbreaking. But I think it just makes you appreciate like the time you did spend and the time you did have in hockey because you know, like you never know when it might end. So I think I'm gonna be so much more appreciative for all this, and I'm so excited to get on the ice. Like, oh, so excited.
Like how, like, you know, because I think it changes everyone's perspective on everything. I mean, certainly for me, you know, I think I'm going to appreciate some of the little things about my job and certainly sports in general. Like how is that going to approach like the way you approach practice and training, and being appreciative of even the little things that maybe before weren't as exciting?
Yeah, like I'm excited to get on the boards and do short boards. Like I never thought I would say that, but like if I could be with my teammates again and my friends and getting yelled at to go down and back 2 or 3 times, I'll gladly do that, But um, I guess yeah. I mean, you get excited, and I'm very glad that this happened, and I still have a year of hockey left. Like if that was my senior year, that'd be real tough. But I'm glad I have it still a year left to appreciate like the small things, like showing up to the rink early, or even just taping your stick before a game, like the little things that like you kind of just miss.
What are you looking forward to the most heading into your senior season?
Oh gosh. Just having fun, like, and playing hockey with my friends. Like I love Plattsburgh and I love playing hockey, and for it all to be taken away so suddenly, it sure makes you realize appreciate the times you had. So I'm probably just excited to get back on the ice and have some fun.
Just being around the team and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know just that. Yeah, I mean, that's I think for everyone that was the most challenging part, because I mean, I think yeah, the actual sport is fun, but it's really the people that make athletics so much fun, and the camaraderie and the relationships you build. It's that I know, at least for me, that's been the hardest part of my job the past few months, because I'm not seeing the students, I'm not seeing the athletes, I'm not seeing the teams, and seeing those relationships grow and seeing people grow. Like it's just it's so much fun, and it's it shows how valuable college athletics are. I
Yeah, no, like especially for you, because like all the athletes, you kind of got them all. You got all their names and all their stats and their information. So that definitely is like tough, and like in your position, because you're used to seeing them every day. Like for us, we'd only see about the same 30 people every day, but like I would miss it so much if I knew everyone and saw everyone. So I definitely feel where you're coming
I,
from.
I don't know. I feel like you are, to some degree, not as much as Hannah Rhodes, but sort of like the vice mayor of Plattsburgh. You tend to know a lot of people around campus.
Yeah, no, I do know a good amount of people. you know, yeah, I've met a good amount. Hannah Rose is definitely the mayor. She knows everyone. She knows them all. Like she'll know all the incoming freshmen on every team by like the first 2 weeks of school, and I'm like, I still don't know the freshmen on our team yet. No, I'm kidding.
It's well, hopefully the freshmen on your team, Hannah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hannah's gonna, she's got to be like a future politician or a future like college president. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's got it. Like those types of positions are in the cards for Hannah. She just knows everybody. Like,
She has that personality too.
Yeah.
Like, I think she wants to be a teacher, a math teacher. So I like her future. She will be a good math teacher.
She is going to be a very, very, very good math teacher. There's going to be some lucky kids out there who are going to get Miss Rose as their teacher.
She's going to move up to principal. She'll know the whole school. I'm confident.
I have no doubt. And she'll volunteer to do everything within the school too. Like she's going to be a team player in that math department for sure.
She's going to be a good one.
Outside of hockey, what else are you looking forward to for your senior year? I mean, I feel like just like yesterday, you were a freshman on campus here. It's gone by pretty quickly.
Well, I'm excited to continue our hiking quest. I'm not sure if we'll get all 46 in within a year, but I'm excited to start knocking some of those out. But I'm also just excited to see my friends again and hang out with them. We all live together. We all see each other 24/7. But I'm also excited to go back to school. Like I feel like I kind of do nothing nowadays. Just kind of work a little bit and work out. But school kind of gives me a reason not to work and to learn. I enjoy learning, so I'm excited to get back in the classroom, I guess, if we can.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your, I forgot to ask you, what's your job that you're doing right now over the summer there?
Oh, I'm a door dasher.
Oh, are you really? That is a really, I mean, that is the trending profession right now.
Yes,
That is,
so trendy. It is popping in Plattsburgh. Like when we were up there in the spring, a bunch of us were getting on DoorDash, and you can make a good amount of money doing it. So I kind of hop on, try to make a couple bucks a week, and you know.
this is a great ad for DoorDash. They should absolutely sponsor this, and
I know we could send it to them and see if we can from there.
Of some sorts.
Get on their Instagram page or something.
Did you work DoorDash before the pandemic?
I signed up right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it. So I was gonna ask, like, if the volume is that much more now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I guess more appropriate is during the pandemic. What's your volume like of people ordering DoorDash?
Yeah. It was like, I'd say it's starting to slow down now, but like in Plattsburgh during like the busy times, you'd usually just get an order right after another. And there's I don't know how many DoorDashers are there, but I'd probably say like 50. So, and you get an order right after another, and you'd be surprised like how many people do it. And then Pittsburgh, I personally know like 8 people that DoorDash. So I couldn't even imagine how many people are down here. But the volume is starting to slow down, but it's still like during peak times like dinner and lunch and even breakfast, you can get a lot of money.
I'm sure. It's that's one of those industries right now that I'm like, wow, like whoever got in on the front end of doing DoorDash, like that is the place to be. I mean, like, Katie and I, we always I mean, some the restaurants are open in upstate New York now, but we always get pickup or delivery. Like DoorDash is a perfect thing. We don't use it. We had our groceries delivered for a little bit in the beginning of the pandemic. I felt bad for those, and we live on the 3rd floor of an apartment complex, so I felt bad for those people because they'd be carrying up bags that had milk in it.
Oh no!
All that. Oh yeah. I felt bad for them. I mean, I still feel bad for the Amazon people that are delivering,
running around.
Like, stuff. Like we got a crib in. That was not light.
Making it work out in.
So yeah, delivery people, they are key.
Yeah. I got Instacart like delivery thing, the grocery deliveries, but I am not a fan. I might be one of those people that get my groceries delivered, not the shopper, because I did not realize how much I do not like shopping for groceries. But Ashley Davis, she's been loving Instacart. She goes out, she says she's going to works like 6 to 8 hours a day down North Carolina, and makes a lot of money doing it. So it's a booming industry.
I'm not even good like grocery shopping for myself, like no less like for somebody else. That's how we do pickup now at the supermarket. But it's hats off to anybody out there who's picking stuff off the shelves for people. That it's very very challenging. I guess closing it out. Do you have any other plans this summer other than just going for walks, runs, hikes, and door dashing?
No, I'm gonna try to start playing a lot more golf with my dad to see if I can finally start beating him. Other than that, not much. I might go to the beach. So I don't know. It all depends on how the coronavirus is going, but trying to go to the beach with my friends and then just come back to Plattsburgh and get going.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll be back at it.
Yeah.
Are you going to beat the men's hockey team in golf when you get back? I mean, you got to be golfing more than they are right now.
Oh, I don't know. I definitely am not beating Matt Ruggio. He's good. But
Can he swing it off the tees?
oh yeah, he can. We were golfing with him up there, and he's good. We did a little tournament. It was like there was like 8 of us, and we did. It was like I don't know who the exact people were, but we did 2 teams of 4, and we played best ball at Bluff Point, or yeah, best ball. So Matt definitely carried the team for 90% of the shots, but the other 10%, I think we were able to contribute a little bit. So we've been having fun. We were having fun when we were there, playing a lot of golf, but excited to get back there and see if we can beat them. I don't like our chances, but
maybe a short game it has gone bad. Who knows?
yeah. Well, they don't want to see us on mini putt. That's where we.
Are you a pretty good mini putt player? Good at miniature golf?
Yeah, I'm best when there's obstacles in the way, and I can kind of just get lucky and get a couple bounces. That's usually how my balls go in. But straight hole, no, not for my golf game.
You get a chance to play it off the bricks, off the clown's foot,
Yeah.
and into the hole.
That's how it works out for me.
Playing the angles, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, hey, it's been great talking to you, Annie. Stay safe out there, and we look forward to seeing you back on campus here in the coming month or 2.
All right, you too, Brian.
Awesome. Thanks, Annie.
Good luck with the baby. Hopefully we'll get to see it all.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.